fun in the sand. They've won 26 consecutive matches, winning 130 flights and losing only 13 during the stretch. But it will be a bittersweet evening as Jeff Hall both celebrates and says aloha to 6 seniors, including both members of the first flight. The Broncos of Boise State and the University of Hawaii Rainbow Wahine, the regular season finale. It's senior night in Manoa. And a very pleasant good evening from the Ching Beach volleyball courts on the campus of the University of Hawaii in Manoa. It's Rainbow Wahine Beach Volleyball as Hawaii takes on the Broncos of Boise State. Hi everybody, Scott Robbs along with Lisa Strand-Ma'an. Before we talk about flights 1 and 2, which are coming up momentarily, we have to talk about the weather conditions. We have off and on showers, we have some blustery conditions as well. How will that affect the matches we'll watch tonight?
Well, I'll tell you what, this weather has been on and off. Yesterday, these two teams battled out in the rain. This evening, the matches, there's some wind going on. The sun's just setting, but rain has been coming and going. And Boise State's head coach shares with us that they are not used to this type of weather, especially the wind. All
right, flight number 2 will come up first. We're going to see a pair that's been very successful this year so far, Leah Monkhouse and Morgan Martin.
Well, these two have been playing together all year long, and they have been extremely successful. They're on a career-high winning streak, playing at the number 2 spot. They should have a good night. Yesterday, they did fail one set against the Idaho Broncos, Boise State Broncos, but tonight, again, a new game for this team.
And then, of course, the nightcap, the flight number 1, Emily Maglio, Kiley, Schucht, 2 players that are playing their final home matches of their career.
Well, both of these seniors, just an incredible partnership. They've broken some records already this year. Emily Maglio sharing with everyone that she is now going to be a senior. This will be her last year playing sand volleyball. And shoot, what a great story. Walk on and now playing the number 1 slot, or what we call flight, here in Hawaii.
Should be fun. And to get more on tonight's matchup, let's throw it over to the 3rd member of our team, Sam Spangler.
Well, nobody does senior night like the University of Hawaii, Scott, as you know pretty well. And we got 6 seniors tonight. We got Carly Kahn, Kiley Schucht, Emily Maglio, like you talked about before. They're going to be in the first flight. And then you got Hannah Zalopany. We have Laurel Weaver and Alyssa Fitterer tonight. And it's an interesting group in that 3 of these seniors came from different programs, whether it be indoor or on the beach. And we have 3 homegrown beach volleyball stars. And then Maglio, obviously, who is also an indoor star with the Rainbow Wahine. I'm going to be catching up with them throughout the match. I'm going to interview each and every single senior, so stay tuned for that. And we'll also have an incredible evening. You saw last night at the Rainbow Warrior men's volleyball match how great senior night is, and the emotions and the tears. Stay tuned for that. We're going to have that coming up in a little bit, but for now we'll send it back up to the booth with Scott and Lisa.
All right, thanks a lot, Sam. Time now for the Hawaiian Tel FCU starting lineups, and let's take a look at the 5 flights here today. In flight number 5, you have Hi'ilave Huddleston and Hannah Zalopany. In flight number 4, Ari Homayan and Amy Ozzie. They're putting a 20-match win streak on the line. In the 3rd flight, Carly Kahn and Laura Weaver. And then the flights you'll see tonight in flight number 2, for Boise State, Brindl, Langley and Kylie Lewis versus Morgan Martin and Leah Monkhouse. And in flight number 1, Janell Walley and Sabryn Roberts versus Kiley Schucht and Emily Maglio. And you get a good look right there at Sean Garris in his 5th season as the beach volleyball coach for Boise State. He is also the indoor coach for the Broncos. And for the University of Hawaii, Jeff Hall, who's just had a great year in his 4th season. He's won 81% of the matches he has coached so far for the University of Hawaii. Time now to take a look at the Kaiser Permanente keys to the match, Lisa.
And for the Broncos tonight, according to their head coach, they really need to serve tough. They need to put Hawaii in some passing trouble and get them out of system. And for Hawaii, keep on with the streak. Keep streaking, Hawaii. They have set record after record this year alone.
So we're just about ready for some action under the lights here in Manoa. And I think you're going to be treated to a pretty good matchup. Leah Monkhouse and Morgan Martin, our first time seeing them on Spectrum Sports this year. But this duo, they've 3 times been named Big West Conference Pairs Team. They're 30-3 as a duel. And they won yesterday against this pair for Boise State. Underway, and it will be Kylie Lewis hitting it long. Lewis, number 14, 6'2" freshman out of Auburn, Washington. These two played yesterday, and actually, Boise State took a set. They won the opening set 21-18, and then Hawaii really took care of business, 21-10, 15-5. And there's the block by Morgan Martin.
And what you're going to see is Monkhouse is going to serve deep into the wind. She's going to go after Kiley, serving that deep float, and then Martin is going to take over the blocking duties. You see Martin starting at the net, and if it's a good set, she'll stay and block. If not, she'll drop back and play defense.
Good dig up by Monkhouse, who flips it over. Here come the Broncos on the left side for Lewis, and she can't negotiate it.
And Kiley Lewis, a 6'2" freshman who's getting the opportunity to play at this #2 slot. She's not real experienced, but she did train a little bit with Al Hanneman up in the Pacific Northwest playing beach volleyball.
Serve gets over into the wind. It's bumped up and rolled over and down onto the sand by number 21, Brindl Langley. She's a grad transfer, played indoor at Division II Florida Southern. So she's out of Camas, Washington, so right next door to Idaho.
With these two, she's basically the defender, if you will.
That serve goes long.
With the wind behind them, you're going to see more long serves from that side of the court, the ball being forced long.
Well, you mentioned that their head coach said they don't play in any kind of wind, and the wind is going to be a big factor tonight. We saw it earlier in some of the other matches. Hawaii played Arizona State earlier and beat them 5-0.
And speaking of beating Arizona State, we take a look at this shot. It's a great little cut shot, catching Monkhouse back on defense.
A good look at Kiley Lewis, whose serve is in for the ace. All right, let's take a look now at the Jack fact. And one of your keys was streaking, Lisa. And, well, this Rainbow Wahine team has done a lot of that this year. They're on a school record 26-match win streak, doubling the 2015 13-match win streak, what was the record. And Maglio and Schucht 22-match pair streak is also a new school record. There have been a number of records that have been broken or set here this season. As that ball is rat-a-tatted around, nobody can get to it, and it'll hit the sand. Now, the sand's a little wet today from the rains over the last couple of days, and talking to Jeff Hall, he says when it's wet, it's compact, and it plays more like, I guess, an indoor than an outdoor court, if that makes sense.
Definitely, and there's all different courts around the country, different types of sand, whether they're wet or dry or on the beach, or Boise, Idaho is at their campus. Very similar to this, but with no wind whatsoever. When you're playing with the hard pack, it's definitely what they call a big girls game.
So Langley will serve. This pair of Langley and Lewis, they beat Arizona State yesterday in flight #2 and did the same thing today. In fact, Boise State, both days as a team, knocked off the Sun Devils.
And they have also been spending a lot of time out paddleboarding, outrigger canoe clubbing, hiking Diamond Head, really trying to enjoy the warm sunshine coming from Boise.
And there's Morgan Martin with the stuff. Martin, the sophomore out of Mission Viejo, California.
And Morgan Martin is known to be a great blocker. She does about 80% of the blocking on this team. She waits. She's an experienced beach player who really knows her stuff for just being a sophomore.
Played last year in the Flight Ones. There's an overpass pokey that's saved by the Broncos. And cut cross shot by Langley, a nice one. Falls onto the sand.
And Langley, that 5th year, she played 4 years of indoors as a libero down in Southern Florida College. She leads their college in defending digs.
Bump set for Martin. And she gets it down the line. Well, we saw Morgan Martin last year in the flight #1 as a freshman. She was the #1 high school recruit in 2016. Last year, first team all-conference, freshman all-American last year. And she has the genes. Her dad played for UCLA.
She definitely has the genes, and she's done a lot of sand or beach volleyball. She's a real smart honor roll student, but interesting, she's wearing a visor tonight.
What do you think that is? Is it because of the lights?
I know it's because of the lights. Night is completely different. When they play these TV broadcast matches, it's very different having lighting from overhead, and obviously she feels like it's a factor.
So Hawaii up by a pair, 8-6 here in set #1, flight #2, Hawaii and Boise State. The Broncos have to get on a flight here in a couple of hours. They're going to have, what, about 10:45 flight. Cross-court shot put down by Martin. So they're literally going to go from the volleyball match, hopefully get a chance to shower, and then head to the airport. And they'll fly to Las Vegas and up to Boise sometime tomorrow.
And right back to school. They're on a semester program. They've missed a few days of school, and talking to the players, they say they got to get back to class.
Well, that serve off the right hand of Martin goes wide and out of bounds. And Kiley Lewis, the 6'2" freshman, will serve. She's out of Auburn, Washington, and an indoor player as well as a beach player. And they're kind of similar to Nebraska, who we saw a bit earlier, where they cross-train. So they don't play a whole lot of matches, not like Hawaii, but they're just trying to get better. As you see a nice shot right down the line.
And this is where, when you have a blocker, you have the whole court, the communication becomes critical. So Monkhouse calling out balls to Morgan Martin.
There's a nice dig by Langley. Back over to Langley. She'll roll it down in front of Monkhouse.
And there's a little bit of trade-off so far. Hawaii doing a lot of blocking, but on that set, choosing not to block. And the Broncos going short a couple of times now, catching the Hawaii defenders moving backwards.
Cross-court shot, the serve into the net. So service error, point for Hawaii.
So in sand volleyball, these teams will change sides on multiplications of 7. And it's a little different in a sense that the ball is different and the court size is different.
Over to Lewis, and Lewis hammers it down nicely. Well, this is the one flight that gave Hawaii some problems yesterday. We mentioned they won the first set against Monkhouse and Martin. Hawaii did win all 5 matches against the Broncos. And there's one right between the two defenders. Alrighty, we'll take a timeout. When we come back, Sam Spangler will have one of the seniors.
Welcome back to Manoa. I'm here with University of Hawaii senior Kiley Kahn. Now, this isn't your first go-around with senior night. Obviously, you were an indoor All-American with the University of Missouri before. How does this compare to what you experienced there in Missouri?
It's definitely different. I had like 3.5 years, like really good years, and coming here, it's kind of new. It still feels like I just got here, but I mean, it's still really special to be home and to be surrounded by all my family.
You got to come home. A lot of people were excited about that, and this is a growing program, growing spectator sport. Obviously at Queens Beach, you guys draw a great crowd. Here you draw a great crowd. What has that been like to have people care about what you're doing here at home?
I think it's awesome. I think that volleyball has just been really huge in general in Hawaii, so it's just really nice to get the community come out and support us too.
Now we have a lot of titles for you, All-American. Obviously you've done well here. A title that you haven't won is a national title. What kind of stuff would be like for you?
I mean, that's what we're working for. That would be amazing. That's definitely one of our goals. So that's what we're hopefully doing here today, and we just kind of practice that every day, and we talk about Championship Sunday a lot. So I think we're just really trying to prepare ourselves for what's to come.
This program's still in its infancy. Obviously, it started in 2012. You guys are growing it to our last year, obviously the national semifinal, and then this year you guys are ranked 3rd in the country, first year with 30 wins. What has this ride been like for you?
I mean, it's been great. I think that our team has just been winning in different areas. I think each person kind of brings a lot of effort, and I think that's kind of the difference, and it's been just really great. We have a really good group of girls, and we'll see what happens from here.
And lastly, you've been around a lot of senior celebrations, obviously when you were at Punahou as a prep standout. What is it like to be at the University of Hawaii with senior night upcoming? Is it an emotional time for you?
Yeah, it's emotional. I mean, it's definitely just different to be home. I never really expected to be here, so I think I'm just grateful that I have the opportunity to kind of be here where I grew up and kind of play for a school that I love.
Kiley, thank you so much for your time. We're going to talk to the other 5 seniors coming up a little bit later in the broadcast. For now, we'll send it back to the booth.
All right, thanks a lot, Sammy Ray. 15-11, Hawaii leading Boise State here in the opening set. Morgan Martin and Leah Monkhouse for Hawaii. That one flipped over and going into the net. Called for the violation is Brindl Langley.
And the Broncos making a couple of serving errors into almost the bottom of the net, trying to serve tough, but they're serving into the wind, and then there, a hitting error, creating a lot of separation for the Wahine.
And the wind really picking up. You see it play havoc with the ball right there on the bump set. And Hawaii will tap it over and get the point. Make the dream of education a reality for our student athletes. Visit hawaiiathletics.com. Click on the donate button in the Ahakoa Nui Nui banner. So two teams now will head over to the bench. Timeout called. Hawaii up by 6, and a little bit of a different situation than a day ago yesterday when Boise State was leading in the first set and went on to win it.
That's right. And, you know, again, the wind playing havoc here. And Boise State might be a little bit tired. They've been playing for 3 days in a row now. Same with Hawaii. Hawaii taking the advantage with some pretty dominant performances so far. For the folks at home, just a reminder, the players have to call their own timeouts. They can only be coached on side changes and during the timeouts.
Well, that's one thing we love about this sport. All right, time now for the series record. It is sponsored by Aston Hotels and Resorts. These two have faced each other 3 times prior. The latest one, of course, yesterday right here on campus. Hawaii winning all 5 flights in that initial matchup this weekend. So Hawaii, Boise State, and this is kind of the prelude to the Big West Conference tournament in about 12 days that will be held at Queens Beach. And Hawaii, of course, the 2-time defending Big West champions. I think there's probably a pretty safe bet to say that Hawaii will once again go to Gulf Shores, Alabama in the NCAA tournament.
I can't agree more. I think they will. I think their biggest challenge really right now is Cal Poly San Luis. They had a couple battles with them earlier in the season, and as these teams are all starting to peak, I think in talking to the coaching staff at Hawaii, they're saying Cal Poly is probably their biggest opponent right now in the Big West.
Well, the wind picking up, the rain beginning to come down from Manoa Valley, and the thing that's neat about beach volleyball, unless there's lightning, they'll play.
That's right, unless there's lightning within I believe it's a 10-mile radius. Otherwise, you play through it all. Rain, hail, even thunder.
Here comes a serve by Monkhouse. We'll see how the wind affects that one, but pushing off the hands of Martin are the Broncos.
And the Broncos going over on 2, a very good play on an easy serve. Oftentimes you can bump that first contact up to the net and play the ball in 2 contacts.
Bumps it over to Monkhouse, rolls it cross court. Leah Monkhouse may be only a freshman, but she has a ton of experience out of Ontario, Canada. She was the 2016 under-18 Canadian national champion. And so a big pickup for Jeff Hall to get her.
One of the 4 Canadians on the team. And playing at a high level, you know, at this number 2 position, coming in playing with Morgan Martin, who again played last year at the number 1 slot with Michaela Tucker, who has since graduated.
There's a line drive serve. Bumped over to Martin. Martin off the hands.
Martin just kind of slicing and dicing the ball around there, not really putting a lot of heat on the ball, but really good placement. Perfect set by Monkhouse to the hitting shoulder, the right arm, sees the court, and a blocker up.
Hawaii 2 points away from taking the opening set. The cross court shot lands right on the tape. That'll be in, that'll be a point. Nice job right there.
And Carly Lewis, coach, talking about her, very athletic, just starting to get and understand the beach game a little bit more. This Boise Bronco team plays a very short beach season, and all of these players are pretty much indoor players or walk-on players.
And you know, their indoor program has really taken a step up. Back when they were in the same conference with Hawaii, they were towards the bottom of the standings every year in the WAC, but now in the Mountain West, they've done well. They've gone to the NCAA tournament. They're a pretty good team. There's a cut shot, nice job.
And again, the Broncos going after Morgan Martin. It'd be interesting to see if they start switching it up, because Morgan Martin is doing a really nice job siding out.
There she goes.
Hitting high down the line.
So it's set point for Hawaii as a 2-side switch. Hawaii now will be serving with the wind behind them as Morgan Martin walks back to pick up the ball. And we were very, very impressed with her. This duo right here, they could be the number 1s next year, easily.
I'm assuming the same thing.
High bump, played, dug up, bumped over to Monkhouse. Monkhouse with the kill, and Hawaii makes it look easy here in set number 1 as they knock off Boise State 21-15. We'll have the second set when we return from Manoa.
Rainbow Wahine Beach Volleyball on Spectrum Sports is sponsored by Bank of Hawaii and Kaiser Permanente.
Back at the Ching Beach courts, where Hawaii takes the opening set over Boise State by the score of 21-15. Flight number 2, Morgan Martin, Leah Monkhouse for Hawaii. Brindl, Langley, and Kylie Lewis for the Broncos of Boise State. As the Broncos serve underway, set number 2. Bumped over to Monkhouse, take the shot. Nice save by Lewis. Lewis runs up and puts it down.
And Lewis attempted to go for the block and then does what we call a drop block with an excellent dig. And again, Boise starting on the good side of the court. There's a great swing from her deep into that pocket.
And there's an answer back by Monkhouse.
And Monkhouse putting an exclamation mark on that hit. Great set by Morgan Martin.
Well, when you think of beach volleyball, Boise State's not one of the programs that would pop up in my head right away, particularly because you look at the geography, the environment of where they play. And so they don't play a lot of matches. And it's kind of just a way to get the indoor players to develop outdoor skills for the indoor game.
That's exactly it. And in talking with the coaching staff, they share that they're just really trying to get their girls out here to get more experience. Their season is very short. 2 weeks ago, they finished their indoor spring training, and then they all transitioned out to the beach. Here we take a look at Sam Garis, the 8th season indoor coach and 4th season on the beach.
And that one off the hands of the dig attempt of Monkhouse, so a point for the Broncos of Boise State. Don't forget, flight number 1 will follow this one to Evie Schucht and Emily Maglio playing their final match here on campus. Maglio, a junior, but announced earlier this week that she will be turning pro and wants to play for Team Canada as well. And Schucht is a senior. Cross court falls in for Monkhouse.
Well, interestingly enough, Monkhouse doing a nice job siding out. Boise, the Broncos going after her, serving deep into the wind, trying to get her to have trouble on the offense.
Diving dig, popped up in the air. Lewis will flip it over. Monkhouse saves it, back over to Leah, pushes it over at 2 hands off the diving dig attempt of Langley. And so Hawaii with the 4-3 advantage. The 2 teams will switch sides and get a look at that again.
A little pokey shot down the line, deep into the corner. It sets a little tight. We call that a pokey or a cobra, if you will.
And you've mentioned before that actually, if you're serving, you want to serve into the wind.
Definitely into the wind. Sometimes a jump float is or a jump serve with some topspin will tend to have the ball bottom out or drop.
That serve goes into the wind. It's mishandled. That will be an ace for Monkhouse.
And let's see if Monkhouse goes right back at her. Once you get an ace like that, you want to go back at that player and continue to keep the pressure on them.
Lewis is at 6'2" and Langley 5'7". That one falls in front of Langley for back-to-back aces.
And that's one of the advantages of the wind. If you play a lot of sand volleyball, beach volleyball, the wind is actually your friend. For Boise, they're not used to this, so I don't really think they look as the wind as their friend.
That one's going to be punched over, but nice save. They bump it over on the right side and down the line, but going wide is Monkhouse.
Monkhouse looking for a touch on that, as well as Morgan Martin. And there is no challenge out here. No challenge.
No green
replays,
card?
No green cards.
Jeff Hall can't grab the green card?
Not yet. It may change, as the rules continually do in the game of beach volleyball.
And it's a sport that has really grown in the last 5 or 6 years. Look at the wind play havoc with that one. And this getting it over nicely, using the wind to her advantage is Monkhouse.
And the key to playing in this type of wind is just really less mistakes. Lower the ball a little. Try not to set it too high. Put it up too high because it becomes very distorted.
Jeff Hall said the windier, the better for our team because we practice here every day in these conditions. There's another short serve because of the wind. Bumped up near the net, pushed over, coming up Monkhouse. They'll bump it back over to her from Martin. And the block. Nice job by Kylie Lewis. Hits the roof.
Kylie Lewis holding her own. Again, 6'2" freshman. Stays at the net and kind of drops in with that left hand, taking away Monkhouse's cross-court attack.
So the Broncos making it close so far here in this early set. Hawaii won the opening set 21-15. Line drive serve. Martin will bump it high for Monkhouse. Monkhouse cross court. Langley. Martin under it. Back to Monkhouse, and she hits it into the tape. So you talked about the team that makes the less mistakes in this kind of weather. Mistake right there by Hawaii makes it a 1-point set. Bumped up near the net from Monkhouse, takes a running jump and crushes the coconut down the line.
And it's going to be a rare day where she actually makes 3 errors in a row, but Boise, the Broncos, really going after her again and again. Let's check out how it works, presented by Central Pacific Bank. Here we take a look at the set by Morgan Martin. She sets it up to Monkhouse. Broncos back up on defense. She pulls on this defense. She gets set, and Monkhouse, seeing her pulling back, drops the ball right in front of her short, and that is how it works.
So reading Lewis perfectly was Monkhouse on that play. It's an 8-6, make it a 9-6 Hawaii lead here in the second play.
A couple of unforced errors, and again, the side with the wind in your face is the side you really want to be on, and you want to lessen your errors on that side. That should be your scoring side.
Langley over to Lewis, the roll shot, nice job, gets it down in front of Monkhouse. Well, you can see that these two, Langley and Lewis, probably if they had more time to work with one another, play on the set, they could be pretty formidable.
I can't agree more. You know, talking with them and their coaching staff, they just talked about how if they all had a little bit more time, they might actually be a little bit more competitive, but they really are loving this trip. They love the competition. They haven't really had this. They welcome the challenge, and they really want to excel here in Hawaii.
Well, Sean Garrett's the head coach. Is he looking at possibly making it a longer season for beach volleyball? Is the school going to put more money into the program?
Well, yes, he's talking about Boise State actually adding men's baseball to the program, and once that happens, he's really seeing the window open up for an opportunity for beach volleyball to be added into their athletic program.
Well, you look at all the success of the Boise football team. That one with the net helps Langley get the ace, and with all that money coming in from football, it trickles down to the other sports, and I think they're hoping that that will result in helping them with beach volleyball. Now, I don't know if you can confirm this or not, but is it true that they play on a blue sand court?
I went and visited their campus last summer, and no, it's not. But the football stadium, yes, incredibly beautiful. They've got a little bit of problems with the weather there. It's a little cold for these young ladies. They're actually loving it here right now.
So they don't play on blue sand like they play on the blue turf for football. 11-9 Hawaii, overpass, hit into the back, and it falls in for the kill by Martin. We'll take a break. When we come back, Sam Spangler will sit down with another one of the seniors.
Welcome back to my here at TC Athletics Complex right here on the sand. I'm here with Rainbow Wahine senior Laurel Weaver.
Yes.
Now, this is the second stop for you in your athletic career. We were just talking to Kiley Khan. You were at UCLA before. Compare being with the Bruins to what it's like here at the University of Hawaii.
Playing for the University of Hawaii has definitely changed my perspective of college sports in that it's so family oriented, and not just family like with your, immediate family, but the whole island. I've truly felt the support of everyone around. People have stopped us in public, telling us they saw our game, that they feel inspired. We've had young girls come up with collages of us and ask for our autograph. So just to be able to inspire the youth as well, and then just have that connection to the island is something I'll never forget. And I'm really, really happy that I made the switch to come here.
Collegiate beach volleyball is in its infancy a little bit, but the sport itself is not. Obviously, it's been around for a long time, very popular. It's growing in spectator sport here, especially when you guys play at Queens Beach.
Yes.
How much does that mean to you, being able to play in front of the fans? You get to play on TV tonight.
Yes, it's growing like crazy, and I think we're seeing it from both the college side of things and the professional side of things. There was a little bit of a lull in the sport, and I think bringing it into the college level has completely transformed it. So we've just been able to interact with more people, get more people interested in the sport, and then as a result, the level of play has just skyrocketed, and it's really fun to be a part of that.
No, it's senior night. Obviously, it's going to be emotional for everybody. You already have your haku on. Are you ready for how much lay you're going to get tonight?
I don't think so. I don't think it's really hit yet. We still have 2 more tournaments. One on island, and then hopefully nationals as well. So I'm still kind of in shock that it's coming to a close. But no, I'm not ready for all the lay.
Obviously, the team has done so well. 30 wins, first time in program history, but you and your partner, Carly, have done really well this season. You've won 15 of your last 16 matches. How have you built that chemistry? Because it's such a chemistry-based sport with only 2 of you out there at a time.
Right. And I think with Carly, there was not really so much of a chemistry building. We've been friends since she transferred here. So it's pretty instant friendship. We both value the same ideas of work ethic and just giving it everything we have every time. So that trust was always there. I think it was just more of like the technical pieces that we've just had to keep building and putting together. But from the chemistry side of things, like I feel like that's been the one thing we've always had. And you know, I just feel really, really grateful to play with her. She's the most inspirational, like hardworking partner I've ever played with. So just to be able to represent, you know, her home state and be a part of that with her is really cool. And you know, obviously the success will follow when you have that kind of partnership.
Now, business isn't done yet. You guys have the Big West Challenge coming up next week, and then Gulf Shores, Alabama, the NCAA tournament, hopefully after that. But once that's all power, you're still going to continue to play beach volleyball. Tell us a little bit about that.
So Nationals, we fly back on Monday. After Nationals, I take my finals and then fly right back on Friday night to California, and we'll be competing in the AVP Austin. So doing that and planning to travel to at least 5 to 6 of the other travel tournaments, and you know, looking to take it to the next level and just keep improving.
We will be following you throughout your professional career. Thank you, Laura, for joining us. We'll talk to the other 4 seniors coming up a little bit later. For now, we'll send it back to the booth.
All right. Good job, Sam. Really enjoyed that interview. Here it's 15-13 Hawaii as the wind continues to really rip. And there's a rip that is roofed by Morgan Martin.
Interestingly enough, Morgan Martin serves, and then she's got to track all the way in and block, and that's one of her strengths. Again, she blocks about 80% of the time. Here you see Monkhouse starting real deep, and they'll serve, and she has to either go to the net and block or stay back and play defense.
Bumped up for Langley, pushes it over. Dug up by Martin. They'll go back to Martin. She looks for the puka. She finds it.
And Martin again just slicing and dicing around the big block of Lewis. She sees her up, and she can basically put the ball anywhere. That's how savvy she is.
So Boise State, it appears, will call a timeout. So both teams will go over to the respective benches with way up 17-13. And if you're the Boise State coaching staff, what are you sitting down and discussing with Langley and Lewis right now?
Well, I think you're talking about staying real focused on keeping the serve aggressive, especially because they're on the side where the wind is in their face. And also, if you see the block, if it's not a good set, maybe dropping back, especially if they're going after Morgan Martin, who has not really hit a hard ball. She's placing the ball a lot, but she hasn't swung 100% at a ball yet. So I would maybe show a block and drop.
Well, speaking of Morgan Martin, the freshman All-American a year ago, let's take a look at some of the highlights she's had so far this evening in the first 2 sets against Boise State.
She's doing exactly what I just talked about. The shots from high line to cut shot, blocking extremely well. She's a great blocker. Serving tough as well. And again, she played at that #1 spot last year. She played in USA High Performance Volleyball. She's got a lot of beach volleyball experience, and that's one thing that you can't trade out.
Well, you look at these two, and heading into this one, in 33 duels, they've won 30 of them. I mean, they're 30-3 as a couple. That is outstanding.
Well, what's amazing is that Monkhouse is only a freshman, and she's playing just like Morgan Martin did at this high level at the #2 slot with her.
So as the years go by in this sport, the competitors get better and better, and Jeff Hall's done a good job of reloading in this program. And Hawaii, of course, a national contender again this year, ranked #3 in the poll. That serve will land just in.
Going for the deep floater, moving back, and it just drops in. It's a great serve. Remember, the wind is behind her, so that's a very well-executed serve.
Langley thought it was going to go long. It didn't. Langley receives that one. She'll now take a hit at it. 2-hand dig by Monkhouse. Back to Leah. Easy kill off the thighs of Langley.
And Monkhouse sure is explosive. When she does not have a block up on her, she's more than willing to take a full swing on the ball.
So Hawaii 2 points away from the sweep here in flight #2. Morgan Martin to serve. Langley. Nice dig, chased down by Monkhouse, freed over. Here come the Broncos. Langley off the hands of Morgan Martin.
And Langley doing a nice job, saw the block up. Notice how Hawaii continues to try to work Langley. They serving her, they're putting the free balls to her, they're hitting at her. Really going after Langley right now.
The grad transfer out of Florida Southern. Played libero most of her career at that D2 school, and she's the Southern Florida all-time leader in digs. As she tries to dig that one up, she can. And it's match point for the duo of Martin and Monkhouse.
And Boise Broncos, interesting, you know, they got these little tank tops on, and Hawaii's in the long sleeves.
It's chilly. For us, for them, this is beautiful. Second contact goes over. I don't know if that was intentional or not, but it worked.
Absolutely intentional, a little too tight. We saw the blocker up on her. The back bump dump. That's what we call that.
Well, it worked.
And again, that first contact a little too tight. She sees Morgan Martin sitting there right in front of her. Monkhouse and Martin both there, but failed to retrieve that ball due to communication breakdown.
So remains match point. Back to serve Lewis, serves it long, and on the service error, Hawaii takes set number 2 by the same score as set number 1, 21-15. And so flight number 2 goes to the Rainbow Wahine over the Broncos of Boise State. A very happy Jeff Hall right there, shaking hands, and we'll take a break, and we'll come back and we'll talk to the head man of the Rainbow Wahine beach volleyball team, Jeff Hall, when we come back. Time now for the Fujitsu air conditioning cool play. Let's take a look at Leah Monkhouse right here as she winds up and puts that one right into the lap of Brindl Langley. Again, from that angle, it looks as painful, and it probably feels as painful as it looks as Hawaii goes down and wins set number 2. They win the second flight, and down on the sand is Sam Spangler with a very happy Jeff Hall.
Thanks, Scott. I'm here with Coach Jeff Hall. Now, Coach, another flight win. It's like clockwork for you guys. Why do you make it look so easy for these guys?
Well, I don't. It's the girls. You know, they do a good job. That team is getting better and better every week. They're learning to play with each other and for each other, and they're just becoming really efficient. It's really nice to see them kind of step up and just kind of graduate a little bit, which is kind of what we're hoping for.
You've been around a lot of senior nights here at the University of Hawaii. I know every coach says it's a special place. Why does senior night become so special for the UH?
Well, it's everything. It's you guys, it's the fans, you know, it's the team, it's their coaches. Everybody celebrates it here. You know, it's a big deal, and it's just really something that we like to send off those guys, you know, into the real world. And it's been a great tradition, and I think it's growing. Ours isn't as big as the indoor stuff, but, you know, again, it's a really special moment for all these kids who have invested a lot of time in the school and this program, so just happy for them.
You guys have put together an incredible season, 30 wins for the first time in program history. I know there's a carrot at the end, though, that you'd like to get. What would a national championship mean to you?
That would be everything. You know, it'd be great for these kids, for this program, for the support staff, the administration, you know, the fans, you know, the school, the state. I mean, it hasn't happened for a while. We'd love it to be us, but there's a couple other programs that have an opportunity this year as well, but we'll see.
All right, Coach, you got the sleeves on, you got the pants on, no shoes. That's a good life right there.
Yeah, that's the way to go. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll go to a quick timeout. Coming up, it's going to be Flight 1, Emily Maglio and Kiley Schucht. You're watching Spectrum Sports.
Back at the beach volleyball courts on the UH Manoa campus here at the Ching Complex, Hawaii, taking on the Broncos of Boise State. Coming up in a couple of minutes, we'll have flight number 1 for you for Hawaii and for Boise State. But first, let's take a look at some of the results from earlier in this matchup. Flight 5, it was all Hawaii. Huddleston-Zalapani winning at 21-17, 21-12. Hawaii up 1 flight to none. In flight number 4, Hawaiian and Ozzy, 21-10, 21-7. They have now won 21 matches in a row. In flight 3, it was Hawaii again. Carly Kahn, Laura Weaver easily over Allen and Bolda, 21-13, 21-13. And of course, you just watched flight number 2. And let's take a look at some highlights from earlier in this second flight. Morgan Martin, the All-American, with the kill down the line, and then gets the big block right there as well. And how about Leah Monkhouse? No problem right there. The stuff by Martin. And Leah Monkhouse, the freshman out of Canada, is equally as good as Martin tonight for the Rainbow Wahine.
That team just dominating that match.
So there you see the final. Martin Monkhouse, 21-15, 21-15. They extend their winning streak to 16. And coming up next, it is flight number 1, Walley Roberts for the Broncos, Schucht and Maglio for the University of Hawaii here on senior night here on campus. And you hear Sam talking to some of the seniors and how big a deal it is and how, you know, kind of emotional. But I thought Laura Weaver brought up a good point. They still have the Big West Conference tournament coming up in about a week and a half. And then their goal every year is to get to Gulf Shores, Alabama, which more than likely they will again this year. That's where the national championship is.
I can't agree more. You know, sometimes it's a little hard to celebrate that because you know that there's more to come, kind of like the men's volleyball last night. It was senior night, but they have so much more ahead of them. Very goal-oriented. You work so long and so hard to get to that national tournament. It's exactly what this team is doing right now.
Well, you're going to see 2 of the better players ever in this program in Emily Maglio, Kiley Schucht. And time now to take a look at the first Hawaiian Bank top 3 and take a look at that. Hawaii all-time dual wins. Schucht number 1 with 91. Emily Maglio, her partner, with 80. And then Ari Homayan, who won earlier, with 79. And the thing that's interesting is the top 3 are all on this team.
It's very interesting. You know, this team has really progressed. When Jeff Hall got the opportunity to take this as a full-time position, it really changed the dynamics of this team because a lot of the indoor players, besides Maglio, stopped coming out for beach. So Noreen Iasia, Claire Anderson, they stayed on the indoor side, but the beach, they can train 100% in the sand with the same coaching staff.
Well, there you see the godfather of Hawaii volleyball, if you will, Dave Shoji. And when they came and they said, we're going to start a beach volleyball program, he had Scott Wong, who at the time was his top assistant, start the program. And Dave was still, even though the head coach indoor, he was still, as he was an active head coach, involved with the beach club. Now, of course, he's retired, but he still comes out and supports both the indoor and the outdoor team as well. And he looks a little chilly, but, you know, Dave weighs about 120 pounds, so he gets cold when it's 85.
That's right. And, you know, he's been a really good role model or support system, I guess you could say, for Jeff Hall. And Jeff's asked him to come out and help them numerous times now. And remember, Jeff Hall actually coached with the women's program as an assistant coach. So, you know, he's here in support, and as well as for Maglio's senior night. She was an All-American indoors and was an All-American this year, or last year on the beach, and potentially could be an All-American this year on the beach again.
Yeah, I would be shocked if she wasn't. And Dave, even though retired, you go to a match, and if he's not traveling, he's at a volleyball match. He was there this weekend at the UH Long Beach State Series. He's here tonight on senior night as well. And maybe retired, but not that far away from the game, that's for sure. So we'll get ready here for flight number 1. These 2 hooked up yesterday, and it was Maglio and Schucht winning it in straight sets. They come in 31-3 on the year, and here's the serve. We're underway. Maglio will bump it up to Schucht. Schucht down the line. It's dug up by Roberts. Back over to Roberts. No overpass, and Maglio pushes it down. Janell Walley and Sabryn Roberts, the duo for Boise State.
And I'll tell you, the wind has really picked up quite a bit here, so we're going to see some really scattered and broken.
It is windy, a left-handed hit, so keep an eye on Walley. She is a lefty, and she pounds it off the hands of Schucht. Now, Friday night, they were set up over here because they knew that they would have these matches with Boise State and Arizona State, so they set everything up Friday for yesterday and for today. And then that Friday night, that storm rode through Manoa Valley, and sometime during that storm, it lifted up and took away the canopies that were down on the sand and took them over the fence and blew them all the way to where the pool is, the Duke Kahanamoku pool. And if you look over there, I mean, if you were here, you'd see that they're still laid up against the fencing all the way across the football field onto the other side. The wind was that strong, and they were put down with sandbags and everything. That just shows you how strong the winds were. Well, they're pretty strong right now. Schucht is pretty strong. Nice cut shot.
And Schucht is just a great story, you know, great defense by her right there. She's really disciplined. She stays right behind that block, grounds herself, but she's just been in the game long, 4 years in this program, working her way as a walk-on to the #1 position.
Amazing she was a walk-on because she was an honorable mention high school All-American on the sand or the beach.
Well, the program had enough players, just like all these programs nowadays. They're kind of full, and it was a lot of the indoor girls coming. And, you know, her parents and her approached the coaching staff and said, hey, she just really wants to play here. What can she do? She'll wash the laundry. She doesn't care.
You got to love a player like that.
Yeah, great story.
Another cut shot falls in front of the diving Walley. Well, Maglio and Schucht, as we mentioned, 31-3 coming into this one. On March 26th, they were named the Big West Conference Pairs team, and the very next day, they were honored nationally by the AVCA as the National Pairs team. And they are the top 2 winners when it comes to duels. 91 for Schucht and 80 for Maglio. And we thought Maglio would surpass Schucht because we thought she was coming back, and then this week announced that she will not be coming back. She'll be turning pro and also playing for Team Canada. And there's a roof by Maglio.
She just has too many great opportunities right now.
Yeah, you can't blame her.
Check out that block. She wasn't #1 in the nation in blocking for no reason. Indoors. And again, these teams switch sides on multiplications of 7 to keep things fair. With the wind and the sun and the night lights.
You know, it's interesting because when Maglio was recruited, it was Scott Wong that found her when he was still part of the indoor staff, and he told Coach Shoji about her. And Dave initially said he wasn't 100% sold on her, and that Scott Wong was the one that sold him and said, she's got such a high upside. You got to get her. Watch what happens. And I remember from her freshman year to now how good she has gotten. I mean, she was pretty good, I thought, initially because she's such a good athlete, but she became a volleyball player.
She really is, and this is her 3rd year playing in sand volleyball. The first year she redshirted, actually, just to try to learn the game. But she also played basketball in high school, and earlier years she played ice hockey.
That's right, she was a hockey player. 8-1 Hawaii out to a quick start here in the opening set, and they'll draw a Boise State timeout, so they'll go over and sit on the chairs across the way and talk things over with their coaching staff. But Hawaii coming out strong, and this flight right here for Hawaii has just been so successful all year. They don't have a whole lot of weaknesses.
Well, they're incredibly complementary to each other. Kiley Schucht doing a nice job from the service line as well as defensively. She's the defender of the two. And Maglio, the big blocker and the hitter. This past week, interesting story, they had a senior week. And so each player took a day. And let's see, Schucht decided Thursday was going to be her day, and it went on seniority. And so she'd been in the program for 4 years. But then Maglio decided she was going to stay or not return, so they combined it. And they got to make up drills and run the practice and give insight. Maglio's drill that she ran, she made the littles block every ball, and she got to be the defender.
Of course. Well, of course, the Big West Conference Championships will be in Honolulu. They'll be out at Queens Beach April 27th and 28th. They'll be the 27th, 28th will be the team competition. On the 29th will be the individual competitions. Then, of course, the 4th through the 6th in Gulf Shores, Alabama, the NCAA championship. And I know at first when folks heard that they were going to have the national championship for beach volleyball in Gulf Shores, Alabama, people went, what? But it's actually turned out to be a great host site. Everybody you talk to that's been there from other schools as well as Jeff Hall, them said, it's a great location. It's perfect.
It's phenomenal. You know, you do kind of question it, but everybody that has been there, I can't agree more, loves it. And a lot of these players' parents are planning on attending that, and that's why a lot of them actually didn't make this trip, because they're planning on seeing them down in the Gulf Shores.
And they show those on, I believe it was True TV last year, so if you have Spectrum, you can watch it when the Wahine are playing. There's going to be a kill for the Broncos.
And Sabryn Roberts, a 5'9" junior, getting a hold of that ball. She's got a great wrist. She sees the court really well, just getting on top of that ball.
Well, these two yesterday and earlier today won their matchups with Arizona State. And so they come in as a pair with a 3-4 mark.
And they share the blocking tendencies here. So here you see Sabryn coming up and blocking, getting a little touch off of that. was Schucht, doing a nice job again. Another kill for her. Very unassuming.
Schucht to serve down the line. Bumped up by Roberts. Walley hits it too far. Roberts plays indoors, as does Walley. And Roberts, in fact, was an all Mountain West Conference indoor selection.
Yeah, and you know what's interesting? She was a high jumper in high school. She set her school record at 5'7".
That shot goes long.
Couple of unforced errors by the 5'11" sophomore. Let's see if Schucht goes right back at her.
Might as well, right?
I would think so.
Well, that one into the net instead. So an easy point on the board for Boise State. It's 11-3. It's 14 points combined. They switch sides on increments of 7, so now Hawaii will have the win to their back. Hawaii's won the first 4 flights, so they have won this matchup of duels, the duel. So that extends their winning streak. Hawaii now has won 27 in a row. That's amazing.
And Hawaii now with the wind, again, very squirrely, picking up a lot right now.
Schucht, cross court, gets it in.
And Schucht takes a full swing at that, even with the blocker up, sees the court. Great set by Maglio, even in this wind. Puts it right to that hitting arm, and Schucht just taking a full swing.
Maglio with the serve. Roberts bumps it high. Walley blocked, but she covers. Roberts will turn around and put it down.
And again, Roberts doing a nice job hitting over onto, catching the defense a little bit out of sync, knowing that they're really picking on her partner, Walley.
Short serve, but into the wind. It still falls on the Hawaii side for the ace. Now Walley, 5'11" sophomore of Yucaipa, California. And Sabryn Roberts, 5'9" junior out of Torrance, California. So a pair of Californians for Boise State. There's a cut shot that does not get over.
And I had the opportunity to talk to both of these girls, and they said they are absolutely loving it here, but they really enjoy Boise as well. They both play on the indoor team. One was a setter. Walley was a setter in high school, and they moved her to being a opposite or right side.
And there's a big crush to coconut by Emily Maglio. She just wound back and hit that one as hard as she could.
And Maglio being set in the middle, you know, she's a middle blocker indoors, so why not set her in the middle? She's got all kinds of places to go with that attack.
You're not going to stop that. No way. 13-6 Hawaii advantage. Pushed into the back row. There's Schucht. Schucht will be rewarded with the ball off the dig attempt of Robertson out of bounds.
And I think the biggest improvement of Emily Maglio this year is turning and finding the ball and then setting it well. Not just setting it, but actually putting it in a great position.
Here comes the serve, pushed over, dug up to Schucht. Schucht rolls it over, gets it to land. And we'll take a timeout. When we come back, Sam Spangler with another senior, Alyssa Fitterer. Stay tuned.
Welcome back to a blustery and windy and a little bit misty Mano, as we know it always gets around here. I'm here with Rainbow Wahine senior Alyssa Fitterer. Fitty, as your teammates like to call you, correct?
Yeah, yes.
You are here for one season. You were an indoor star at Michigan State University. What's the transition been like going from indoor to, you didn't play a lot of beach volleyball in your childhood?
I definitely didn't. I think the transition was definitely humbling, coming up from the indoor court and then trying to walk in the sand, out of breath every other step, honestly. But I would say humbling. I had to learn how to kind of like look back at myself. What kind of new skills could I learn? Who could I learn from? Everyone on this team is so talented. So I was looking to freshmen, seniors, everyone on the roster to try and help me even just improve every day with this sport.
You didn't imagine that you were going to come out here and play at the University of Hawaii, that you were going to play this sport. How did this all come to fruition?
It was kind of really random. I was supposed to graduate a little bit later than I thought, and then all of a sudden, poof, within a month before graduation, they were like, hey, you can graduate on time. Do you want to walk? I said, okay. And then so I walked, and earlier in the year, some beach teams had reached out to me And then all of a sudden I thought, hey, this might be an option. So I was either going to play pro or go somewhere for beach. And Hawaii ended up being my new family and my new home.
And you made some family and friends here. You have a haku on, you have some lei on. What's it been like adjusting to the culture here in Hawaii?
It's been very easy. Everyone here is ohana, is family. I've been nothing but blessed with the people that have been on this team and their families. Like you said, I just got this from Hannah Zapp's dad, and they've been here for me this entire year, and I feel so grateful for everybody.
And this is a place you want to come back to, correct? You're going to be a graduate assistant with the team next year?
I am. So I'm going to take a year off, and I'm going to go play professionally indoor. That's my goal. And then I'm going to come back, and I'm going to see all the girls playing in a year and a half. So all the little freshmen are going to be juniors. It's going to be so awesome to see how much they've changed.
What's the chemistry like with this team? You guys are so good, obviously, the 30 wins, a program mark. But the chemistry, I think, has been really apparent because everybody on the team seems to really enjoy each other's company.
Yeah, we're like a big family. And within practice even, like, it's always competitive. People are always going for everything, and people are always having fun. And I think you can tell with us, just being goofy all the time. Yeah.
Well, we'll get to see that from the rest of the 3 seniors that we'll get to talk to a little bit later. Listen, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Good luck the rest of the season. We'll throw it back up to the booth.
All right, thanks a lot, Sam. Hawaii 2 points away from the opening set win over the Broncos, 19-8. Maglio and Schucht lead it. Maglio will serve into the net.
And that's a rare air for those two.
Well, let's look at some of the points that took place during that interview with Sam Spangler. And take a look at this one, Lisa.
That's just a great cut shot. She sees both defenders back. And again, that comes from experience. She's been playing 4 years with this team and a great set. She sees it wide open. Very hard to defend that ball.
Walley, the lefty, gets the serve over. Maglio on the second contact hammers it down, and it's set point already for the Rainbow Wahine.
And so when you serve what I call a lollipop to Ka'ivi, she's going to bump that up and let her big girl take care of it.
Cross court serve. Bump it to Walley. Walley will be roofed. And just like that, Hawaii wins the opening set 21-9. We'll take a break, come back, and have the serve to start set number 2 when we return.
Rainbow Wahine Beach Volleyball on Spectrum Sports is sponsored by Straub and Hawaii Honda Dealers.
There's Rob DeMello from KHON TV2 Sports, and he might be the hardest working guy in our business in sports. I mean, you see Rob at every single sporting event. Now, of course, he has a partner, that's Sam Spangler. And Sam not working quite as hard as Rob tonight, but, you know, we do appreciate Sam coming out on a Sunday night to come out to the beach courts and help us out with a little beach volleyball. But the two of them really, they do a terrific job of covering local sports here in Hawaii. Set number 2 is underway. Hawaii gets the first point. Very one-sided opening set in favor of Maglio and Schucht. 21-9.
Very dominant. They've had control of this match from the moment they stepped on the court to warm up. I think Boise Broncos a little bit fatigued. It's been a long weekend for them. This is their last match here. They love the competition.
Well, in a couple of hours, they'll be on a plane heading back to the mainland, and I have a feeling they'll all sleep quite well on the red eye.
They're just hoping that they make the flight, and then they joked around and said, actually, we'd actually like to miss it so we can stay here a little longer.
Well, the way things are going, I don't think they'll have a problem making their flight. There's a point put down by Schucht.
And you can take a look at this, and you can just see how she just sees the court. She sees the blocker. She goes up and over.
It's a 2-1 Hawaii advantage. Roberts will get it, bumps it up high for Walley cross court, and recognizing it's going to go long and getting out of the way is Schucht. Nice job by Ka'ivi.
And again, being an indoor player, oftentimes those deep cross court shots are going to go long. You've got a foot short on each end of this court. It's a different size court. Smaller.
Pushed over. There's Megs with the dig. Back over to Maglio. Big wind up, one arm dig in the back row. Roberts will play it over, but the wind will push that one out of bounds.
Another interesting thing on that play, the first contact, the first save, the hustle by Walley, a one-arm swing, and her partner just trying to get it back over, knowing that Walley's still on the ground, puts it out.
Bumped up to Roberts. Roberts gets it off the hand of Maglio. Now Maglio's going to turn pro. I would imagine, is she going to turn pro indoor, or do you know if it's going to be on the beach?
Indoor is my understanding. Yeah, opportunities are indoor for her back in Canada.
I think she could play pro for both, don't you?
Probably.
Yeah, that serve goes wide out of bounds. And, you know, Emily Maglio, known as a middle blocker indoors, but, you know, she has some pretty sweet hands as well, as Maglio having to do a little setting here. The bump setting of Emily Maglio, helping out her teammate, Kiley Schucht.
And what you'll notice about her bump setting is that her feet get to the ball every single time, where it's just a straight up and down set. She's not outside of her body at all. Very controlled and very consistent bump setting. She's not a hand setter, she's a bump setter.
As the rain begins to fall down in back right corner, the shot falls for Roberts. We've had showers off and on all day, all weekend really, here on campus, but the rain won't affect the play. They'll continue to go on. The wind doesn't affect anything. Well, I mean, it can affect the ball, but it doesn't affect the players. They have to still play in it.
What the rain does is it compacts the sand, so it gets a little harder, and also makes it really difficult. You have to wipe that ball free of the sand. The sand starts sticking to the volleyball, and it gets a little difficult. That's when your long sleeve shirts become an advantage.
No long sleeves for Boise State as Walley gets the cross-court shot down. Rainbow Wahine wearing the long sleeves, and Boise State with the tank tops.
Hey, they're coming to Hawaii. Pack your tank tops, right?
Some of them look like they didn't use SPF 100. Probably would have been a good idea. We saw some tender-looking Broncos earlier today. Here's a nice cross-court put down by Maglio.
And again, what you notice with the sets to Maglio is 90% of them are in the middle of the court. They pull her in. They don't set out to the antenna, or what they call the pins, where the other players, their sets are to the pin.
Pass up near the net. Roberts can't play it off of it. So it's an 8-4 UH lead. Maglio Schucht winning the opening set, 21-9. Hawaii's won the first 4 flights. Roberts cuts it just inside the sideline. Good shot.
Roberts is an outside hitter on the indoor team, and Walley is a right side hitter on the indoor team.
And you know what? Knowing that she's left-handed right away, that's what, if you thought of position, it would be on the right side. She's left-handed, right?
That's right.
Nice effort there by Roberts.
And again, another cut shot by Kiley Schucht, doing a great job just slicing and dicing and placing the ball wherever she wants consistently. Take a look at that. Drops her arm, her elbow just a little bit. That's why it hits the top of the tape, but very successful on her offense tonight.
And Kiley Schucht's mom and dad in the house, taking in the action. And a bump for Walley. Schucht will dig it up. Megs to Schucht, who gets the point.
Schucht was the most outstanding player at the Queen's Cup, and here you can see why.
Flat-footed serve by Maglio. Walley, cross court, misses everything. So as soon as Maglio served, she ran right up and took away the line, forcing Walley to have to go cross court. Schucht was right where she needed to be, and Walley recognized that and just mishit the ball.
That's right. They're trying to channel block her. They're trying to channel her to hit into the defender.
We'll see if that happens again. Second contact, pushed over. Well, Schucht will dig it up and she'll hit it. Will Roberts be able to get it with the one hand? Good effort, but not enough to get it over the net.
That's a great effort. She has to turn and change directions and try to swing that. That's when she was wishing the wind was a little bit more swirly.
She needed a big gust to come up at that time, right?
That's right.
We've seen some tonight. Maglio backs up perfectly, digs that one up near the net for Megs, pokies it over and down.
Maglio doing what we call a drop block, doing a nice job getting that quick off of the net and then just rolling that ball in for what we call a transition play.
So a timeout called on the sand. There you get a good look at Emily Maglio, so well decorated indoor as well as outdoor beach volleyball player. And I think there were a lot of sad faces when they found out Emily wasn't going to come back.
Taking a quick look, that little pokey slash cut shot, if you will. She gets on the left side of that ball and just drops it in. Again, hitting out of that middle front. Maglio sees the court so well. Taking her little break there.
It'll be fun to watch how she progresses professionally. You know that she's going to have quite the career. We may see her representing Canada in the Olympics coming up in 2020 in Tokyo.
That's right. Very easily could. You know, she just continues to blossom. I think the more she plays, the better she gets, the more confidence. We first interviewed her, as you remember, she barely talked. And it's amazing to see how she has transitioned. And I really, truly believe that beach has helped her make that transition.
Yeah, she was very, very shy when she came to the university. And I mean, she's still generally a soft-spoken person, but not afraid to talk to the media anymore. And that aspect of her life has grown, as has her game.
Last year, she played at the #3 spot all year with Laurel Weaver, who's another senior on the team. She's played with 4 different players in her career here, but no matter who she plays with, she's been incredibly successful.
Up 13-5 here in the second flight. Mags floats it into the wind. Bumped up for Walley. Walley gets it off the hands that time of Mags. I think the best story always about Maglio is that she played hockey.
I agree.
Right?
I agree.
That's a tough sport.
Very aggressive, quick twitch, you know, following the ball, puck, whatever. I don't know a lot about ice hockey, but
I don't know a lot about hockey, but I know they don't play with a ball.
I know that
too. There's a cut shot.
And Maglio showing that she can do another cut shot.
Roberts will get a chance to become offensive. Goes for the back line. It goes too long. Hawaii leads 15-6. We'll take a break. When we come back, Sam with another senior, Hannah Zalapany.
Welcome back to Manoa, underneath the Manoa mist. I'm here with Rainbow Wahine senior Hannah Zalapany. Now, you're a 5th-year senior. We've been talking to a lot of transfers lately. Haven't spent a lot of time at the University of Hawaii. You've put in the hours here. What's it been like seeing the program transform to what it was when you first came into where it's at today?
It's really, really cool because, like, before there weren't a lot of schools that had it. And so to be there kind of in the later part of the beginning and seeing where it's at now within just our program and kind of nationally is really cool, because and also too it gives a lot of kids another opportunity for another experience beyond high school and stuff. So that's awesome, and it's great to see kind of our program grow through staffs and everybody funneling through, and so I've been happy to be a part of that.
We were talking to Alyssa Fitterer about your family taking in her and showing her the ropes and taking her in. What has that been like for you to create a family atmosphere around here?
Well, I've always kind of been involved with the culture and stuff here, and so that was kind of my motive when Fitty came out here. So she lived with me for a bit of the summer, and I took her around, showed her some cool places, but it means a lot, you know, and to bring somebody in who doesn't know anybody or anything about like Hawaii in general, that was just kind of how I would have wanted to be treated. So to treat Fitty like that was just kind of a no-brainer. She's an awesome person, and she's a great asset to our program too.
You've helped leave a legacy with this program. The 30 wins obviously is a program record, but you guys finished 3rd in the nation last year, and you're ranked 3rd this year. To take that next step and bring a national championship back to Manoa, what would that mean to you guys?
It would mean the world, because we have worked so hard every single year, and everybody's pretty committed every single day and dialed in to our end goal, which is to bring a national championship home. And so to be able to accomplish that would be truly amazing, especially being a senior and finishing off my last year. But yeah, like I said, everybody's bought in and everybody's committed to that, and so we just show up every day working hard, and I think if we continue to do that, that's something that we can definitely make happen.
So right now we have water on our face. Might be a little bit of tears later. You gonna be able to hold them back?
Oh yeah, hopefully. I was able to in our senior interviews earlier last week, and so hopefully I'll be able to, but there's no talent out here. It's crazy. I have my family and a lot of my close friends out here, so we'll see. There'll probably be tears, but hopefully not.
We'll see. Stay tuned. We'll see if Hannah can keep them back. We'll throw it right back up to the studio.
All right, thanks a lot, Sam. The big question will be whether or not you can hold back the tears. Sam, very emotional individual, and I expect a couple of tears from Sam Spangler here a little bit later on. Hawaii 3 points away from the sweep, and then we can get ready to really party for the seniors. Left-handed serve gets over by Walley. Schucht punches it over. Nice dig. Roberts chases it down. Walley dug up by Maglio. Back over to Emily. The swing goes long.
And I believe that's her first hitting error of the evening. Schucht leading everybody out here with 14 kills so far and 12 digs.
So the two switch sides. Maglio and Schucht looking to go 32-3 on the season.
They've created just such a huge separation right now. 10 serving 18. Very difficult to come back and rally scoring with numbers like that.
And they're also looking for their 23rd straight win, and they're going to probably get it. There's point number 19. They will be a tough out against anybody. And that's got to give you a lot of confidence if you're Jeff Hall, knowing at the top of your lineup you've got a couple of players like Maglio and Schucht to throw out there against UCLA and Pepperdine, those teams that they'll probably face at the Nationals.
Definitely. Gives a lot of confidence knowing that these guys have worked very hard to become the #1 team. They were not always in this #1 position all year long. It's been between 1, 2, and 3, back and forth. As a matter of fact, the Carly Kahn and Laurel Weaver were at the #2 spot the last time we did our broadcast.
Roberts floats it. Maglio digs it. Maglio hits it. And it's aloha ball right here. Maglio and Schucht winning the opening set 21-9, on the verge of taking the second one. Here it comes. Roberts will bump it up to Walley. Off the hands of Maglio, and the Broncos will live on for at least another point.
Beach is a little different off of that block. You can only have 2 contacts on the beach, not 3. So very interestingly enough, that ball would have had to return in 2 contacts.
Maglio will bump it up for Schucht. This could be the point right here. It's nice dig by Walley. Roberts back to Walley. Dug up by Maglio. Up near the net. Emily rolls it. Dug up. Hit over. And in. Oh, what a great play there by Janell Walley with her back to the net. Going cross court, getting it to land just inside the sideline.
Some great defense by the Broncos, really laying it out. Maglio getting a hold of that last ball.
Another cross court serve. So Maglio will set Schucht again. Schucht this time off the hands of the blocker Roberts, and they win 21-13 after winning the opening set 21-9. They are now 32-3 on the year and make that win number 23 in a row for the duo of Maglio and Schucht.
Well, that's quite impressive. You know, they've gotten so confident, comfortable, and they're just growing. And again, this team has a ways to go. They've set their goals. They're working real hard, and you got to just love the team effort.
Let's take a look at the players of the match, presented by Bank of Hawaii. And it is Langley for Boise State, had 9 kills, 5 digs, a service ace, and of course, the seniors for the University of Hawaii. There you see all 6 of them. And congratulations and thank you for playing for the University of Hawaii beach volleyball team. So Hawaii did what they needed to do this weekend. They won both matches against Arizona State. They won both matches against Boise State. Now they can really put their focus on what comes up next, the Big West Conference tournament over at Queens in about a week and a half.
And there is quite a big difference. They won't be playing at night with rain, maybe a little bit of rain, but no night lights. And the sand is completely different down there, and the crowd is completely, a lot of distractions down at Queens Beach. But this team has played there enough, and they are looking forward to hosting the Big West tournament.
And then off to the Nationals. And what does it take to win a national championship?
Well, that's a great question. I mean, this team is pretty deep. You can see that with the numbers and the records that they've set. But really, basically, you have 5 teams playing. And those 5 teams, you get the dual challenges, and you need to win as many games out of that. It can be a little complicated, but basically you can win 5-0, you can win 3-2, you can win 4-1. The first team that takes those is the winner, and then it moves along. It's amazing that this sport has become a national championship sport.
Yeah, no question about it. As you see the Rainbow Wahine huddling up Jeff Hall as well, and you can see Carly Kahn, some of the seniors, they're getting ready for their celebration. It should be a fun one, emotional, maybe some lightheartedness as well on a night where the weather conditions have not been the greatest. They've played in quite a bit of rain. The wind has been blowing off and on as well, but it did not affect the Rainbow Wahine as they won all 5 flights against Boise State. Did not drop a set, or did not drop a flight this weekend. All right, time now to get this party started. Let's throw it over to public address announcer Mike Machado.
At this time, we would like to begin our senior ceremony, but before we honor our seniors, we'd like to take a moment to recognize Boise State seniors. How about a round of applause for seniors Jamie Lee Bolda, Brindl Langley, and Sky Southwick, the Boise State Broncos. And now it's time to honor the University of Hawaii senior class of 2018. This diverse group has been the heart and soul of the Sandbows and the driving force behind the team's incredible run this season. Presenting the seniors with their plaques are UH head coach Jeff Hall and University of Hawaii senior women administrator Lois Mannon. Our first senior joined the team just this season after a stellar indoor career at Michigan State. She's played primarily at the number 6 court, but has also appeared in 3 matches at the number 5 flight where she helped UH to 3 dual match wins. Despite her brief time here, she has made a profound impact on the program with her unrelenting positive attitude and infectious personality. Already holding an undergraduate degree in advertising, she's currently pursuing her master's degree at UH in Communications. Let's give it up for the native of Victoria, British Columbia, Canada, number 10, Lissa Fitterer. Apologies, went a little out of order. Before we get to the seniors, we'd like to recognize one other individual who'll be departing the program after this season. Our second honoree joined the program in 2016 as a transfer player from Hawaii Pacific University. This past season, she became a team manager and has played a crucial role in the program's operations while continuing to infuse the team with her fun-loving and energetic spirit. This May, she'll graduate with a degree in travel industry management. Please give a round of applause for the senior from Henderson, Nevada, Brooke Garlick.
Thank you so much for all you do.
Our Our second senior is another graduate transfer, an All-American indoor player at Missouri. She came home last season to try her hand at beach volleyball. The results couldn't have been better. Last season, she teamed with Ari Humayan for 31 wins, a single-season UH record. This year, she has teamed with fellow senior Laurel Weaver to provide a potent combination at the top 3 flights of the UH order. In all, she's won more than 50 career dual matches at UH, ranking in the top 10 in the category in less than 2 seasons. This graduate student is currently pursuing a master's degree at UH in kinesiology. UH fans, show your aloha for the senior from Honolulu, number 11, Kiley Khan. All right, our next senior has spent 2 seasons as a Sambo after transferring from UCLA. She's made an instant impact upon arrival and was a major part of UH's run for an NCAA title. Last year, she teamed with Emily Maglio to go a remarkable 30-4 at the number 3 court and earned first team All-Big West honors. This season, she's continued to rack up the wins. This time, with Kiley Khan as the pair who's won 14 of their last 15 matches. The senior will earn a degree in geography this spring while continuing her work towards a second degree in sports nutrition. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for the senior from Winnetka, California, number 20, Laurel Weaver. Our next honoree, though a junior in eligibility, will be playing her final season as a Sambo. During her 3-year career on the beach, she has been absolutely dominant, winning better than 80% of her matches. She ranks in the top 4 all-time in dual match and overall wins, and along with Kiley Schucht, holds a UH record for consecutive wins by a pair with 23, a streak that's still going. A 2-time first-team All-League pick and 2016 Big West Freshman of the Year, she's one of only 2 UH players ever at UH to earn All-America distinction in both indoor and beach volleyball. In the classroom, she is currently on track to earn a degree in animal sciences. UH fans, give it up one last time for the native of Coquitlam, British Columbia, Canada, number 44, Emily Maglio. Our next senior has worked her way to become one of the most successful players in program history. She's been a key contributor on 4 straight squads, none more than this season, as one half of UH's top pair. A 2-time All-Big West performer, she was UH's all-time leader in dual match wins, number 3 all-time in overall wins, and along with Emily Maglio, holds the UH record for consecutive wins by a pair. Tonight she reached another milestone with her 100th overall victory. This May, she will graduate with a degree in family resources. Ladies and gentlemen, show your aloha for the senior from Escondido, California, number 2, Kiley Schucht. Our final senior has been here longer than any other player on the squad. In her 5th season as a Sambo, she has appeared in more than 110 career matches and ranks in the top 10 in both overall and dual match wins. Along with Amy Ozzie, she provided UH fans with one of the most memorable moments in program history, the dramatic marathon victory over Florida State in last year's NCAA tournament. This season has been memorable as well, with 26 wins, including 20 in her last 21 matches. With an undergraduate degree already in tow, she is currently pursuing her master's degree in social work. Volleyball fans, show your aloha for the senior from Spokane, Washington, number 13, Hannah Zalotny.
So there you go. You see the ceremony for the seniors and the junior, Emily Maglio, who's played in her final home match of her career. And you look at that, and that's a lot of talent that will not be back on the sand for the Rainbow Wahine. The good news is they still have the Big West Conference Tournament and the NCAA Tournament as well. So we'll take a break, come back, we'll have more from the sand here in Manoa. Welcome back to the beach courts here at the Terrence T.C. Ching Complex on the UH Manoa campus. Well, earlier during the flight, Sam Spangler got a chance to talk to 4 of the seniors that were playing their last home match, and now the final 2 as he's down on the sand with Emily Maglio and Kiley Schucht. Sam?
Thanks, Scott. I'm here with the victorious champions and the seniors tonight, Kiley Schucht and Emily Maglio. What was that like tonight, getting to win and then instantly after getting to celebrate your senior night?
It's something special. I mean, this place is unreal. I mean, I'm never going to forget it, so yeah.
Mags?
It's great to be able to have another senior night, but I think it's a great atmosphere coming out here on the beach and having all the fan support. It was just a lot of fun.
23 straight, the program record. Obviously, you guys have talked about that a lot in the media, but the chemistry that you guys have built together this year, what has that been about, and how have you done that so quickly?
I mean, I've known her for 4 years, so that has a huge part in it, but it's a weird one. I mean, it's a weird relationship, I must say, but it's a good one. We keep each other balanced, so.
She's all since freshman year, she's been so sweet. And yeah, just last year, I hope that I get to be her last partner for her senior year. It's been fun.
Moving forward, you guys have accomplished a lot on the sand, obviously. You've accomplished a lot indoors. Big West Challenge in a couple of weeks, and then hopefully a run at a national title. Do you feel like this team has what it takes to accomplish the goals you want to?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, this team has been one of the best that we've put out, and I mean, our numbers can say it, so I think we'll pull out both of those.
Definitely.
Definitely. Oh, yeah. Right in stone. No, but when you look at the senior class especially, you guys have helped found this program. It's been since 2012 that this thing has been around, but it's really come to new heights. How proud are you of just the entire group that you guys have put together?
So proud. I mean, I couldn't ask for a better group to go out with for my senior year.
Yeah, it's been great just to watch the program get better and better each year, and yeah, being here with a lot of great other great teammates. We do great things.
The sky is laughing right now, or the sky is crying right now. You guys are laughing. Did you get any tears tonight?
Oh yeah, a lot. As I walk through.
They were earlier.
All right, we'll throw it back up to Scott and Lisa. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
All right, thanks a lot, Sam. Well, it's been a record-breaking season for the Rainbow Wahine, including that pair. And Lisa, I'll let you get the last word.
I just have to say, keys to the match, keep on streaking. This is a great team. They're doing good things. They're very consistent. They never let their foot off of the pedal during this whole entire weekend. So looking forward to seeing how they do in these next couple of weeks.
Yeah, we'll all keep an eye on the Rainbow Wahine. Well, thank you, everybody, for joining us here this evening. Thanks to our outstanding Spectrum Sports crew, braving the wind and the rain to put on tonight's telecast. So for Down on the Sam Spangler, for Lisa, I'm Scott. Until next time, we bid you aloha and a good evening from the beach volleyball courts in Manoa.